It is 9:47 on this Saturday morning. Carl Nelson is here from the Imagination Station. It is time for Imagine It, and we have a full setup today. How you doing?
Good. I brought with me one of my favorite toys as a kid, the self-diving submarine.
Oh, nice.
Have you seen these?
No.
You put a little fuel inside, okay?
A little fuel?
A little fuel.
Okay.
We'll get to that. And it generates some gas, makes a bubble on the bottom, and then the submarine will rise to the top.
This would be your favorite toy as a kid.
Look,
Okay.
it's really
All right.
cool.
Foreshadowing at
There's
its
some
best.
chemistry, there's some physics. The buoyancy of the submarine changes. It rises to the top, it flips over, the bubble goes away, and then it sinks back down.
Okay.
And it keeps going. But I always got confused. Is it baking soda? Is it baking powder? What is the fuel that you put in this thing?
Okay.
And what's the difference?
All right.
So I thought we would look at baking soda and baking powder
Sure.
and just kind of see what they do.
Two things that most people have at home.
You have them all at home.
Sure.
And let's just try with some baking soda.
Baking
In
soda.
there. We're
Okay.
going to add some water. So go ahead and pour the water into that
here?
flask.
Okay.
And we're going to
All of it?
Yeah, just dump the whole thing in. Let's see what happens. We're going to watch, and quite honestly, nothing's going to happen.
No.
All right. Baking soda doesn't react with water. You need an acid. Have you ever made the volcano?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's vinegar and baking soda.
Okay, so this one is vinegar here.
That's vinegar. So why don't you go ahead and pour the vinegar into the baking soda, and let's see what happens.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Volcano time.
That's our volcano reaction. So you have an acid and a base that react to form carbon dioxide gas.
Okay.
Now, do you see how fast that made the gas, right? That's not going to work for our submarines because they would rise to the top, fall to the bottom, and stay there forever.
Right, okay.
So we want something that releases that gas a little bit slower. And that's where baking powder comes in.
Okay.
And this stuff is really cool because it has baking soda in it, and it has an acid in it together in dry form.
Okay.
So as soon as it gets moist, it will release some gas. So let's try that.
Hence why it's good for baking.
Exactly.
Okay.
So go ahead and, that's just water. Go
Okay.
ahead and pour that in that first flask.
All right.
Let's see what happens.
All of it?
Yeah, just dump it all in. Let's
Okay.
see. Looks good. And you see there's a little bubbling. I'm going
Sure.
to put a balloon on top and see if we can
Capture some of the gas.
capture some of the gas
Okay.
and see what happens. And I'm going to do one for myself as well. And you see it's happening way slower.
Right. We're
than-
seeing it bubble up and rise
It's-
up just a teeny bit.
And you kind of want that sometimes when you're baking. You want a slow amount of gas to start with.
Oh, sure.
And then when you start baking, got a flame over here. Once you start baking and increase the temperature, you generate more gas. And so
Okay.
you can actually see this is starting to foam up a little bit more, and eventually our balloon's going to get a lot bigger.
Sure.
That's kind of like the double acting nature of baking powder. You see that on the bottles all the time. It's
Right.
like, what does that mean?
Well, and if you're baking a cake and it rises too fast, it's just going to
It's just
collapse.
going to fall.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So difference between baking soda and baking powder.
So the answer then for this.
Very good, yes. Baking powder.
Baking powder.
Slow release of gas, which will allow the sub to rise and then fall, rise and fall. And these will go for like 15 minutes.
Really?
It's really quite
Very
amazing.
neat. Cool. So you have one of these in your room, but no fish.
I do, exactly, exactly.
All right. Well, there you go. A little lesson for you. And this is definitely one that you could try at home with a little adult supervision.
Absolutely. I mean, don't do the flame unless
sure.
you're baking.
Yeah.
But we do sell these in our store as well. So when we reopen on the 24th, come on down, pick up some subs, and you can do this experiment at home.
Sounds good. So if you want to hang out with the family at the Imagination Station, just wait, hold out, because they're doing some special renovations. They'll be closed until the 24th and then reopening, and you can say hey to Carl.
Yep.
Carl, thanks so much for coming in. 9:50.